Hey everybody, welcome back to Drawbridge Finance. My name is Levi Woods, and today we're talking about dividends. All right, everybody. Now today we are talking about a dividend that I received on a stock called ZWC. Now, for those of you who follow my channel or have followed my channel for a while, you know that I made a purchase of this back on June 19th, which was just a couple of weeks ago. So since then, we've had the holiday. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday. I know I did. I got to take some time off. Sorry I didn't release a video last week. But, I was spending some time with friends and family, and that sometimes is more important than doing YouTube videos, as you guys probably understand. Anyways, today we are going to look at the dividend payment that I received in my Wealthsimple Trade account. Now, for those of you who don't know what Wealthsimple Trade is, it's a free app that you can use to buy and sell shares. It's for Canadians. There are similar products down in the States like Robinhood or Webull, and you guys can use those platforms to kind of buy and sell shares and then collect the dividends if you want to become a dividend investor like myself. Now, today we're looking specifically at this ETF that I bought, which was ZWC. And as I said before, I bought it on June 19th. So I'm going to jump right into this. I'm going to show you the chart and I'm going to talk about some of the terminology around the dividends and what we should expect date-wise when we actually look at a chart. So the very first thing we're going to do is look at this chart, and I'm going to show you the date that I bought. Now, I put out a post to my patrons saying that I was going to buy the ETF later in the day, right during this first candle of the day. Now, if we look at this chart, this white bar represents the trading day of June 18th, and then on the gray bar is June 19th. So on June 18th, I put out a post, and we can see it here on my Patreon account. I showed the chart, and I said, June 18th, 10:36 in the morning, new high yield dividend ETF I'm buying today. And I said, I haven't bought it yet, but I will be buying this ETF today. The symbol is ZWC, the exchange is TSX. The current stock price is $19.06 Canadian. The current dividend yield is 11 cents monthly, $1.32 annually, which works out to 6.93% annually. So basically, this is an ETF that sells covered calls. They buy stock with the shareholders' money, then they sell covered calls, which is an options play. And as you guys know, I'm an options trader, so I love ETFs like this. Somebody else is doing the work monthly, and that generates a lot more income for that company. So they're selling the shares, they're selling the option against those shares that they own, creates income off of the options, then they distribute that income back to the shareholders. So that's the idea with this, and that's why you can get such a high yield dividend return off of an ETF like this. So that was it. That was the post, and we'll go back to the chart and we'll take a look. Made that post. So any of my patrons could have picked up that ETF at $19 and between 5 and 9 cents during that next hour. What I did was I actually waited until the next day and I did a video on how to buy the stock with Wealthsimple Trade. So you guys probably saw that video already, and we bought in at a price of $19.12, and I bought that in on the 19th because I know that this is going to pay a monthly dividend. What I didn't know at that time was when exactly it was going to be. We kind of assume it's coming up, but the announcement hadn't actually been made. The announcement came out on the 19th. The next thing I'll do is I'll show you the announcement, and then we'll talk about this dividend payment that came out here, this 11-cent dividend. So I went to BMO.com, and this is the company that actually manages the fund. This is the investment firm that holds the ETF. On the ETF section, we go down here and we go to press releases. On this page, I'm going to look at the 2019 press releases, and these are in date order here. It's a bit weird layout, but June 19th, they made this post. So announces cash distributions for certain BMO exchange traded funds and ETFs. That's what we were looking for. Announcing the cash distributions. So we're going to click on read more, and it's really basic. These are newsroom things. There's a little bit of text at the beginning and then just a list of what the actual amount of the cash distribution is. So Toronto, June 19th, 2019, BMO Asset Management announced the June 2019 cash distributions for BMO exchange traded funds, BMO ETFs, that distribute monthly and quarterly. So unit holders of record of the BMO ETFs and ETF series at the close of business on June 27th, 2019 will receive cash distributions payable on July 3rd, 2019. So what this is saying is that anybody that owns the share on June 27th is going to get paid a dividend on July 3rd. That's the bare bones of it. So they're telling you what date you need to be a shareholder, and they're telling you what date you're actually going to receive the cash. So let's just take a look down this list, and we'll see down here, ZWC is the BMO Canadian High Dividend Covered Call ETF. Now that's the ETF that I bought in that Wealth Simple trade video on June 19th. On this same day, June 19th, they're telling us that they're going to pay a dividend of 11 cents per share on June 27th. And that's exactly what I said in that video. We bought 10 shares, so we invested for $19.12. We invested $191.20, and we knew that we were going to get a cash distribution in the future of 11 cents, and that was going to be distributed in cash. So 10 shares times 11 cents works out to $1.10. That's what we expected to get. And we would receive this cash distribution on July 3rd. So they're telling us right there, those are the two dates, June 27th, July 3rd. Now let's go back to the Yahoo Finance page and we'll take a look. So again, this is the date we bought the stock, June 19th. Now we're shareholders, and what's going to happen is on the 27th, which is actually this date, anybody that owns the stock is going to get paid this 11 cents. Now, there's a bit of time for the company to receive the information about who actually owns the shares. So what they do is they backtrack it. It's usually 2 days. The people that own the shares, when the company makes the distribution, they look at that list and say, who's a shareholder? That's who we're going to send the money to, is actually an old list. It's a list from 2 days prior. So it's the people that own the shares on the 25th that actually get the dividend payout on the 27th. So what ends up happening, and this happens frequently with dividend paying equities, is that and ETFs, both this is an ETF, the dividend price drops the day after. So the people that own it on the 25th are going to be listed as shareholders on the 27th. And this day in between is called the ex-dividend day. And that's the day where the shareholders, the people that own the shares, aren't going to actually receive that dividend. So that's why Yahoo Finances marks it as the dividend paid on that day. It's also why we see this drop in share value. Essentially, the company has earmarked this money and said, we're going to take 11 cents from the coffers and we're going to pay it out to our shareholders on July 3rd. So the valuation of the company dropped. Therefore, the share value subsequently also drops in the minds of the shareholders. So we typically see a drop of the size of the dividend. And if we take a look at the price, the close was $19.01, and it opened in the morning at $18.91. So a drop of 10 cents on a dividend payout of 11 cents. So approximately the price of the dividend payment. So really, when it comes to monthly income, does it matter? Like the people that bought it here today and owned the shares and got the 11 cents, or the people that got it here also got that 10-cent valuation difference. You know, as a long-term investor over the long haul, it makes absolutely no difference whether I'm buying here today and collecting the 11 cents or buying on this day and not collecting the 11 cents, because in the future, we're going to continue to collect that money. So for my $191 investment, I collected $1.10 this month. I expect to collect $1.10 in July, $1.10 in August, $1.10. You see how this goes. So as you guys can see, there's these 4 major dates. We have the declaration date, then we have the ex-dividend date, then we have the record date, and we have the payable date. So 4 different dates, and really the only ones that are important are the record date, or 2 days prior to it actually, and then the payable date, which is the day we actually receive the dividend. So just looking quickly at that chart, we'll just pop those on here. We have the declaration date, which is the 19th. We have the ex-dividend date, which is the 26th. Then we have the record date, which is the 27th. And this is the day that the list comes out for the shareholders that actually own on this day. And then we have the payable day, which was July 3rd. Now, what actually happened was I received an email on July 4th, so one day after the payable date, saying I had received the cash. I got an email from Wealthsimple, which was kind of nice, saying, hey, you got a dividend and you received this $1.10, which is exactly what we expected. Now, that's how easy dividend investing is. I hope that you guys can follow along. Remember to hit that subscribe button. I will put a link right somewhere here. There will be a link down in the bottom for your subscribing. Remember to hit that like button because that helps the channel a ton. And if you're really interested in getting rich with me, then follow my Patreon because I'll have a link for that as well, so we can all just get rich together. Thanks so much for watching and see you very soon.